Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. I'm making this video to show you why you're probably stuck in your marriage. And I think that's an important topic because the reason you're so despaired in your situation and you have so much distress is because you feel stuck in your marriage, which means you may have many problems in your relationship, but if you see a future, you won't be despaired, really. You won't be distressed and you will just work on it. And the reason why people get distressed is because they just can't see the pain moving away. They just don't see the pain leaving their relationship, and so they get distressed. By the way, why I'm speaking about this and why I'm to speak about this. So I'm a director of a Muslim therapy clinic. We've helped many Muslim couples, especially high-income Muslim couples. And the way I've done that is I was running ads and had leads that had free calls. So literally to help so many Muslims, what I needed to do is to get dozens of calls every day. Probably not dozens every day, but maybe a dozen every day, or maybe less, maybe more. And I needed to do that for many months just to get some sales and get some clients. So I've spoken with hundreds of Muslim couples to this day, and clearly I can picture very different level of understanding of why people are stuck and how they can get unstuck and why they keep being stuck in their relationship. And what I want to say here is people are stuck, first of all, because change is very counterintuitive. So many of this level of understanding, I know you probably have this understanding of how you will get the change done in your relationship, simply because change is counterintuitive. And maybe the reason why you are still stuck in your relationship is because you think one of these things. And the reason why you think one of these things is actually normal, because most people think about these things. And that's why most people have an unhappy relationship. Even people, trust me, I've seen it all. Many friends, when they know I'm a marriage expert, they come to me and they say, oh, my marriage is fine. But at some point, they just blew it up and they say to me, no, actually, it's not that fine. So people understanding of what's a happy marriage is very different from my understanding of what's a happy marriage, because I've seen it all, really, and I've helped distressed, unhappy marriage to go from unhappy to very happy. So I know what's a very happy marriage, when most people don't know what's a very happy marriage. A normal marriage with a lot of problems, people think it's a perfect, successful marriage, when it's really not. So people don't understand what's a really happy marriage, and change is very counterintuitive. So people opinion about how they get change in their marriage is usually very wrong, and it's probably your case, and it's probably the reason why you're stuck in your relationship right now. So I need to address it because I want to change this mindset. Changing your mindset and your understanding and making you understand is one of the simplest way to have some changes in your life and see changes in your marriage and get hope in your marriage again. That's why I want to address it in this video, inshallah. And like I said, all these things, I got it from my hundreds of calls. It was me or my team getting this call with Muslims, Muslim marriage, and trying to get them changed. And so we could clearly see which couples could get change and which couldn't get change, and why they couldn't get the change in their relationship. And a lot of time it's about one of these three things. So let's go now. So here are the 4 levels of understanding I speak about. So the first one is, some people will come to you and think your problems are normal. So that's actually the worst level of understanding. And if you think like this, you won't have any change in your relationship, never, ever, or unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful with you. So some people think that there is no happy marriage. Simple as that. So when they get problems in the relationship, they think it's actually normal, and they actually normalize it and they do nothing to change it. Well, if you think like this, you won't get the change down, because you won't make any action to make it down, because you simply don't believe there's such a thing as a happy marriage. So when you see people being happy in their relationship, you actually think it's fake. So you say, oh, it's fake. You're very skeptical about happiness in relationship, in marriage in general. And so some people, there's different version of that. Some people will say, okay, you can be happy in the beginning of the relationship, but you can't be happy later on. So you have 3 years where you can be happy, but after that, you really can't be happy in a relationship, which is false. There's many studies pointing to that now, and it's basically a scientific fact that some people are happy their whole life, basically, in the marriage. It's around 40% of relationship in the countryside and 20% in big cities. So 20% of relationship that last longer than 20 years. They are very happy after 20 years of marriage. 40% in the countryside among couples that stay married after 20 years. So there's actually many studies that point to this fact. You can be happy in a marriage even after 3 years. Some people think it's all fake, so they're just pretending to be happy for social media, for clothes. And by the way, that this happen definitely. One of my strategy when I try to scale my clinic was to actually, I was trying to get a lot of influencers. So I spoke with a lot of influencers and some agents, and and I've spoke to a lot of Muslim couple on social media, and so I came to them very naive because I thought, okay, they're probably very happy because they show happiness, and I want to believe that there's some truth to it. And basically, a lot of them got scared when I told them, okay, you can try my therapy for free. And I know you don't have, so my angle to speak with them was, I know you don't have any problems, but maybe some people following you have problems. So you don't have to say you had problems. You just need to say, okay, we tried this and there was more connection after that, and so on and so forth. But they got scared, like not a normal, not a normal fear, like a normal amount of fear every time I was proposing this. And so I was like, oh, what the hell is happening? And so I discussed with some agents that had a lot of influences, and they actually told me that the truth is most of these couples have a lot of marriage problems in their relationship. And the reason why they want to do these kind of things is because they are afraid that it just, that they cover blow basically, and that people know that they have so many problems. So that's the reason they get scared. So I know some people are faking it, but obviously not everybody is faking it, and you can have a happy marriage. And happy marriage, by the way, is not just this companionship love. That's another thing people think. They think you'll have true love in the beginning of the relationship, and maybe you'll be happy later on, but it's more like a friendship kind of love. It's also false. It's not. We're not speaking about this companionship love when you love your spouse like you love a friend or a long time friend. No, you're actually very in love and very happy, and you have the same butterfly in the stomach that you had in the beginning of the relationship. That's what we're talking about here. So yeah, that's the first level of understanding that's very problematic. And sometimes we had this kind of thing. So we had people on the phone and people complaining and people crying at the phone, and there was so much pain in this call, and we're like, okay, so good, if you have so much pain, we are the best on the market. I think we are the best on the market, by the way. I don't want to lie, but I really think we were the best on the market from my research, and I hope that we were the best in the market because that's what we try to do. So we're like, okay, nice, there's a fit here, we can help you, and you suffer a lot, so let us help you. And what was happening is actually they didn't trust or didn't believe there was any solution because they thought it was normal. They thought marriage is about pain, not about happiness. Marriage is about pain, not about pleasure. And the truth of the matter is, obviously you have happiness in marriage. Come on, even the Quran is very clear. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِنْ أَزْوَاجِكُم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran that they created spouse for you so you can find tranquility and peace. So obviously that's very problematic, and if you think like this, you're false, scientifically false. But sometimes another thing is they undermine the problem. So they think, okay, I'm suffering, but that's it. There isn't so much problem to it. And I hope it's not the case, because if you watch this video, probably you are high income, successful Muslim. So I hope that you are smart enough to understand how problematic having an unhappy marriage is. But just in case you don't notice and don't understand how problematic it is, let me speak about a few things here. So regarding kids, having unhappy marriage is probably the worst thing you can do. Probably, like, you could probably make your children live in the street and have a happy marriage. It would be better than living in a nice home and having an unhappy marriage. It has so many consequences in their success at school, success in their career, success, psychological success and development, executive capacities, which is the faculty of getting the work done basically, and so on and so forth. Team building, social skills. A lot of things depends on the relationship between the father and the mother. And what I would advise you is to just look at a book called The Boy Crisis from John Gray and Warren Farrell, I think. SubhanAllah, I forgot his name. But there's an amazing book written on that shows the consequences on having fatherless education. And so, yeah, you need a father and a mother, and you need them to have a nice relationship if you want to have a good education for your kids. And basically, if you don't focus on this now, what will happen is they'll get old and they'll hate you for that, and they won't be happy in their marriage and relationship. They'll probably get divorced, and they probably won't have any success in their career, and they will just stay in your home until you die, and then they will inherit your wealth, but they'll just won't make anything from this, and they'll just lose everything because they basically uneducated people. So that's what will probably happen. And I see this problem all the time working with high income Muslims. They spend thousands in school because they want the success for their kids, but the truth is most of their kids won't even go to university in the first place, because you'll get divorced, and when you get divorced it will be so nasty that they just don't want to go to the university, and they'll probably go abroad playing guitar on some random countries, something like this. So yeah, there's a lot of impact on your kids, but on your finance as well. So if you take the average loss of marriage problems in people's life, they evaluate it as $400 a year. So people are losing $4,000 a year in revenue because of their marriage problem. But of course, we're speaking about low income people here, and of course the impact in high income for high income people is way more. So my guess is you're probably losing 10,000s, maybe $100,000s every year because of your marriage problem, and you don't see the impact. You think, some people even think, oh, I'm actually more focused because I have so many problems at my home that I'm avoiding my home, and so I'm making so much work. Yeah. No, you're all over the place, and you can't even think straight because you have so many problems, and you can't escape it because it's your marriage, and your marriage it's your attachment, it's your close relationship, and your brain is wired to be attentive, focused on this close relationship. So every time you have a problem, or you feel rejected, or something is happening in your close relationship, you can't escape it, but you will dead focus on that, even if you try to escape it. So you're probably making a lot of mistakes in your business/career because of your marriage problem. You don't even notice it, and it's actually killing your career and business right now. Health, health. John Gottman said that happy marriage lives 4 to 8 years more than unhappy marriage and stressed marriage. You have other things. For example, when Susan Johnson worked with some group of hospital in Canada, I think, they tried to see what was the main reason of heartbreak, cardiovascular disease. I think they call basically every heart-related disease, and they actually saw that the most correlates to heart disease and heart problems was intimate relationship. And Susan Johnson loved to say that she wasn't surprised, but actually the staff of the hospital was very surprised about that fact. They thought it was something else, something more objective, right? But the truth of the matter is, what they could find is what was producing the most heart disease was actually heart breaks. A lot of pain and suffering in relationships was causing this. So there's a lot of correlation with the immune system as well. So you're probably getting sick right now, losing lifespan as we speaking because of these marriage problems. And of course, happiness, that's pretty straightforward. You can't be happy if you have, or it's very hard to be happy if you have so many problems in your close relationship. Or maybe you're happy because of your kids, and you say, oh, alhamdulillah, I have my kids and they make me happy. Yeah, but your kids will leave the home in 10-15 years, inshallah. You won't have your kids with you, or they won't be as often with you, and then you just hit the reality that no, you are alone with this person where you have a terrible relationship with. So all these things are a huge problem you need to address. And so people either don't think there's a possibility of having a happy marriage, or they just undermine the issue of having an unhappy marriage, and so they don't think it's such a problem at all. And because of that, they don't do any action to change their relationship. So that's the first level of understanding. That's very, very problematic. Let's go to the second one now. Someone needs to come and explain things to my partner. So what I mean here is, some people think that the way they'll get an happy marriage is someone will come, sit with the partner and say, look, everything you've done wrong. And then suddenly the partner will say, oh, thank you, I couldn't understand this. Oh, thank you, I didn't know I needed to be respectful with my partner. Or I didn't know insulting my partner was bad. Oh, thank you, I didn't know that giving service to my partner was actually good. A lot of people think it's just that simple. I just need someone that come and speak with my partner. That's it. And so basically what they think and where they're wrong is they think they have a problem because the other person is not listening. And the thing is, it's inside focus. So they think the reason why a human being is behaving the way they behave is because they don't have enough insight, because they are not conscious. They are not conscious of what's happening in their life or of the problematic behavior. So they think they need insight, someone that comes and creates insights. So they make things conscious. They make the problem conscious to the person. And suddenly, if the person is conscious of the problem, then you'll get change. Sometimes some people are a bit more humble and they recognize that both are a part of the problem. So they say, okay, it's not just my partner. I need to change things as well, but I just don't know what I need to change. So I need someone that is more experts, know more about things, that come and speak to me. But it's not just me, it's my partner as well. So we need a coach, basically. We need someone that come and coach us, explain us what we do wrong so we can do these things good in the future. And the truth of the matter is, like I said, once again, it's insight focused. So people think it's just a matter of making things conscious. When people are conscious of the problem, then they change. That's actually a very old school way to see psychology. Insight focused psychology is basically what Freud and Carl Jung went with in the beginning of, or in the end of the 19th century and beginning of 20th century. So Freudian and Jungian psychology is all about insight focused, and psychoanalysis and psychodynamic kinds of therapy are insight focused. What they thought is you have unconscious thing happening in your psyche, so in your mind, basically unconscious thing happening that was messing with your life, and the way to get healed is just to make it conscious, and so you can get changes. And that's an old school way to see psychology, and the truth of the matter is now debunked by modern observations of neuroscience that now understand that it's not making things conscious that create changes, but it's new experience. So the brain is not rewiring when you get conscious of what is unconscious. The brain is rewiring with experience. Experience is the key to have changes in your life, and really you can see this. Probably you can feel this. A lot of time, a lot of your problems, maybe you were unaware of these problems, and so you couldn't fix it because you were unaware of this problem. But was making the problem more conscious helps directly to get things changed and things done in your life? Probably not. You probably needed to take some course of actions, and a lot of time maybe you procrastinated to take actions. So even though you were aware of this problem, a lot of people, they actually know there's a problem and they understand something is wrong, but they just, it's not because they're not conscious of the problem that they don't get any changes. It's just because they don't know why they can't have any changes. They're just stuck. They even sometimes try to get the changes done, but they can't. And the truth of the matter is, the reason it's happening is they need a new experience. They don't need a new explanation or someone that explains things better. So if you think like this, you think, okay, I'll just need someone that come and speak with my partner, and we get this all the time. So all the time we had leads on the phone, and they were saying, I just need someone to come and explain things to my partner. It's not my fault. Or if they say, okay, it's not our fault, we need to learn. But what they expected from us was to just sit with them and have a nice conversation and show them graph and stats and things that explain how you can have a happy marriage. And the truth of the matter is, you won't get changes in your life just with that. So and if you think like this, you won't focus on the right course of changes, because you always try to debate with your partner. So you always try to get changes in your partner by just having these debates, these never-ending conversations, while you try to explain in another manner what your partner is doing wrong or what your partner should do, and then you get frustrating because you don't see any changes, and you try this for maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then you get distressed and you get despaired because you think that, okay, I tried to explain things in all manners possible and my partner is just not changing. But you don't understand that it's not making things conscious that make changes in a human being. It's new experience. So actually what you needed, it was not dozens of boring conversations with your partner. What you needed was a new experience. You didn't understand that your partner was acting in this manner because there was some necessary healthy experience lacking in your relationship. Now, the third level of understanding is some people think that they get the marriage unstuck by giving an electric shock to the partner. So that I have an interesting anecdote regarding that. So when we try to scale our clinic, we actually ran ads, and we tried many different angles to get leads, and all the time the angles, the ads copy that get us the more leads was the ads where we said, do you need an electric shock in your marriage? So this term, do you need an electric shock in your marriage? People were basically so interested. A lot of people subscribed, and we have very good results with this ad copy. And so there seems to be something with this term, this idea of an electric shock. People understand intuitively that if there's an electric shock, maybe they can have some changes in their relationship. And what's interesting is electric shock is actually used in neuroscience experiments and laboratory experiments to replicate traumas. So when you want to work on traumas, and when you want to stimulate, or when you want to fake trauma or have some kind of traumatic experience with laboratory rats, basically, or sometimes it can be even human being. James Cohen have done the experience with human being. What you'll do, you use electric shock, small electric shock, and the brain will basically see this as trauma. So what it means is many people intuitively think that they need to traumatize the partner to get changes in their marriage. And they have half of the answer, by the way, because they understand that it's not just an explanation that is needed. They need some experience. They understand that they won't have things change. They won't see any valuable change if there's not a new experience. What they don't understand, so the half they're missing here is this experience should be a healthy, good experience, not a traumatic experience. So they are wrong, not in thinking they need some kind of experience because they need this, but they think it's an electric shock, so they think it's some traumatic experience. The problem with traumatic experience is it's making the change, but it's making the wrong change. What it's making when you have traumas is you actually producing more fears in your relationship, and all your problems comes down to some kinds of fear. You can see my other videos where I explain this. So most marriage problem comes from a place of fear. So if you do some traumas, or if you try to change a partner with some new traumatic experience, you'll actually produce more fears in your partner, and what will happen is your partner would change in a good way, probably. And so you actually make the situations worse, and your marriage will get worse. And now you'll be frustrating because you say, oh, I tried everything. No, you didn't try everything. You tried to traumatize your partner, thinking that traumatizing your partner would be the path to have changes in your relationship. Obviously, you need some kinds of new experience, but obviously you don't need traumas. Traumas is actually bad, guys. People get in therapy for traumas. People have maladaptive behaviors, thoughts, and emotions for years because of traumas. So you don't want to induce traumas in your partner. Really, what you want is a good experience. And so and the other issue with traumas is, even if you can maybe have some kinds of changes in the right direction. So maybe, let's say, for example, sometimes your partner is disrespectful and you want to change this. So you want to traumatize your partner every time your partner is disrespectful. So your partner stop being disrespectful. And maybe you'll stop having disrespect, but actually the problem is like chemotherapy for cancer. So you actually destroy everything in the relationship. You'll make maybe one good change for 10 wrong changes in your relationship, and you'll mess up the relationship, so you get the situation worse. And I have actually made this experience with a couple a few days or a few weeks ago with a partner. So it was a high successful Muslim husband. His wife was very mistrusting of him every time he was conveying his emotion. And what was happening is, every time it was happening, he was getting very mad at her. And she was, of course, deeply in love with him. So he was getting very mad, and he was threatening her every time she was disbelieving, mistrusting some of his emotions. And so what was happening is she actually learned to not show this mistrust, so to not communicate this mistrust with him. And so it was successful in correcting this behavior of not saying to him right in his face, I don't trust you when you say you love me. But did it change the fact that she actually didn't feel loved, and she actually didn't trust that he's loving? Obviously not. She didn't think this guy is, or this husband is loving her, and she didn't trust this, and she can't trust this. So the problem is still here. You just have one good change, and you have tens of wrong changes, because now she's not even conveying the fact that she's mistrusting. And it's actually very bad, because now you can't even address the problem, you can't communicate on the problem, because it's not even showing the problem anymore in the relationship. So traumatic experience is a no-go. You should not use traumatic experience. And no, here's the truth: you need a corrective experience. That's the level of understanding you need to have if you want to get your marriage unstuck. You need a corrective kind of experience. Let me show you how it works. So first, some people thought there was no problems and they didn't get any actions to get the changes done. Some people understand there's a problem, but of course they have different action because they think they need a new explanation when they actually need a new experience. And some people understand they need a new experience, but the experience is traumatic, so it's not working. And the truth is, you need a new experience, but you need a corrective experience. And corrective experience is the opposite of trauma. So what is corrective? The corrective experience in marriage is the experience of being important, supported, and regulated by your partner. That's what you need to create in your marriage if you want to get changes. So every time you have problems in your marriage, it's because you have not enough of this experience in your marriage. It can be from your side or your partner's side. But that's why you need to focus. You shouldn't have traumatic kind of experience. You should have more of the experience of making your partner feel important, making your partner feel supported, making your partner feel regulated. And you'll see problems will disappear like miracle, like magic. Of course, not this kind of haram magic with jinn. I'm not saying this, but it's an expression, basically. It's a saying. You understand me? So yeah, just trust me. And like I told you, changes are counterintuitive. The reason why so many people have divorce and unhappy marriage is because when they hear these kind of things, they are like you. They're like very skeptical, and they think the problem is, no, I need to do this explanation. I need to make my partner understand that he or she is doing things wrong. And the truth is, you could even not even address this. You could just ignore the fact that your partner thinks he's right, and just try to focus more on having a new experience with your partner that makes your partner feel important, supported, and regulated. And you know what? Problem will disappear. The thing you're complaining about will disappear. So that's what you need to do. And of course, the thing is, sometimes it can be hard. In some situation, it can be hard. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, by the way. So when you have a lot of mistrust, a lot of blocks in a relationship, you'll try to do it and you won't success. So you have two options. The first option is to just ignore any feedback from your partner and just repeat it. Just repeat trying this. Just repeat. And even if you have a 10%, 5% success rate, at some point you'll get it cross and you'll get the experience done. So that's your first option, because of course you don't have any expertise. You never done the work in the past, and you're not like us just doing this all day long. So you're not a therapist that understand how to create this experience with science, so probably you'll get a lot of mistakes done and you'll need a lot of repetition. But if you just focused and try very hard to make your partner feel important, supported, and regulated, and so basically you could even be straightforward. How can I make you feel important? How can I make you feel supported? How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I make you feel better today, in a better mood today? If you just focus a lot on that and just try again, at some point you'll successfully have this experience done in your partner, and then you'll see your partner will be regulated and feel important and feel supported, and alhamdulillah, I can swear that you'll see and notice some changes. Now I know it will ask a lot of repetition and it will be hard probably for you to do so. So if you want, you can ask experts, and experts basically normally are trained to produce this kind of corrective experience faster, so you can have faster changes in your relationship, and that's the faster way to get results, and that's the nicer way to get results, because now you don't need high motivation, high resources to do it, because you can have it faster and in a simpler manner. But if you don't get any help, that's life, bro. You just need, our sister, you just need to work and try. And my advice, if you don't get any help, is just to try every day for 6 months at least, to see changes in your relationship. And if you try for 6 months every day to produce this experience in your partner, to feel important, supported, and regulated, it's just unreasonable to not see any changes in your relationship, basically. But yeah, if you get some help, you get faster result, obviously. And that's why our best offer right now, we have 2 or 3 offers in our clinic, but the best offer we have is a couple retreats, because that's the most intensive corrective experience. So what we do is we do a lot of tests and analysis to just see your temperaments, to see your character, to see what you love, you prefer, which kind of activities you love, which kind of needs you have. And we actually blend therapy with vacation, and so we produce the best vacation, or we try to produce the best vacation in your life. That's our goal. Of course, it can be hard for some people. Some people are very successful and have a lot of very amazing vacation, but we try our best to produce the best vacation, tailor-made vacation in your life, and we blend it with therapy, so you can have a powerful experience in your marriage that gets changes in your relationship. And it's all based on that main truth and main fact that if you want to have changes in your relationship, you need a corrective experience. Yeah, that's it for today, and I think I addressed everything. Allahumma lakal hamd. So don't be like these guys thinking these problems are not huge, or that you just need a new explanation, or that try to traumatize the partner. Please focus on having a new corrective experience, and you'll see that you get your situation unstuck, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. If you love this video, please share it to your partner, because it can be nice to have your partner change his mind and understanding this, and trying to make you feel more important, more supported, and more regulated. And any feedback you have, please leave a comment so I can know your feedback, can help you better in the future, inshallah. And thank you for watching me. Assalamu alaikum.